detective thrill me.
Thanks for joining us again. Post-Christmas. Don't have to watch any more Silent Night, Deadly Night films, Jared.
But
That's now over with.
We will at some point. We'll choose to do that again.
It's now over with.
For some of us.
I don't think I'll ever watch that package. I mean, you've still got it, but I just get this feeling that the dust will continue to settle on it.
There's
No?
director's commentaries on every film. I'll watch that.
Oh, Christ.
Like I said, I need, I've already said that I need,
You need some
Brian Yeltsin
explanation.
to explain himself over part 4, so I'll listen to that one.
Difficult. That'll be a difficult discussion.
The other two I didn't mind.
Yeah, actually, the other two were all right. All right. For some reason, we found this film. I believe it's got a wrestler, an 80s wrestler, making their film debut. It's 1993's Firepower.
Mm.
Found it on YouTube.
His career was a one-off too.
It was a one-off. So this will be an interesting piece of viewing.
Yeah. Afterwards, we'll rank him against the likes of Cena and Batista.
Yeah, I get the feeling he's lower down. But before we get to that, let's do a bit of a run through what we've been watching. Jared, what have you been watching since Christmas?
Well, I mean, last time we got together, I was talking about Icebreaker.
Mm.
I don't think I've lifted the
Quality of
quality
Icebreaker?
at all.
Because, by the way, I watched the Icebreaker trailer and was underwhelmed.
Oh, well, I wouldn't think it would have enticed you to watch it. hence the whole watching it with riff tracks. So, I had a little bit of Christmas fare in here mixed in with some other things, but I watched the Merry Little Batman, which was a Christmas movie. It was an animated Christmas movie that came straight to Amazon.
Okay.
It was actually pretty good. It was kind of more based around Robin and his relationship with Batman, set in the Christmas kind of thing. As a Batman fan, I quite enjoyed it.
Yep.
I got onto Joe Bob's Christmas fair.
What was that this year?
Well, there was a couple. I'll tell you what the first one was, and then I'll circle back to the second one.
Okay.
So the first one was The Brain.
The Brain.
It was from the 80s, early 80s, I believe. It was one of these ones about a giant brain kind of infecting people's minds and then eating them and shit like that. It was all right.
Was it on there as well, or did you have to source it elsewhere?
No, I had the whole.
Oh, yes,
I
you had the whole package. Yes, that's
I had
right.
the whole package. Before I circle back to the second of the Joe Bob Christmas ones, because I did kind of delve a little deeper, but I watched the Five Nights at Freddy's movie again.
Okay.
If the kids wanted to go back to it and whatever. I still enjoyed it. It held up reasonably well for me. I think it's for people that like the game and like the lore around it. I kind of said that the first time. I think if that's not if you're not already into it, it's going to be a hard kind of sell. But yeah, I enjoyed it again. I watched The Black Demon.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I know.
Interesting.
Is it on Amazon Prime?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's also on Binge as well.
Yep.
Fuck, I've seen it, circled it,
Yeah.
but then I read a review that basically said there wasn't much shark stuff in it.
Well,
So
I
it's
read
kind
the
of
review. I also read similar reviews before I pressed play. I should have fucking known better. But look, it's got a setting that isn't such a bad kind of thing.
Isn't it on like an oil rig?
It's on an oil rig, but it's also themed around like the shark is kind of, the people there believe the shark is like a manifestation of like their kind of cultural sort of religious beliefs.
Okay.
And I mean, overall, you can tell it's reasonably cheap, but the location looks great. And then we get onto the rig and yeah, there's not as much shark stuff. There's a guy there, I haven't seen him before, but he's playing one of the fellas that's on the rig. Delivers a strong performance. He's a good actor. Unfortunately, Josh Lucas, who is an actor that I really like, is having a fucking shocker. He's honestly, he's talking about a man in control of his emotion and the fucking histrionics and all this sort of shit. He's just over the top. It's really over the top in a couple of points, and it's kind of like a couple of scenes you kind of sit there when he's delivering it and just go, oh, Jesus, like cool off a little, Josh. Like let's measure this.
I know. Where's the Josh Lucas from Red Dog?
Well, I quite like the guy.
So do
as
I.
an actor, but I was just kind of shocked.
Unfortunately, he's kind of fallen on hard times and ended up in Black Demon.
Yeah. Well, it was directed by old mate that directed Last Blood too, Adrian Grunberg.
Oh, was it? Oh,
So
fucking hell.
he hasn't found his way back into my good graces just yet.
I'm not surprised. I don't
He won't be getting a Christmas card from me in 2024 at this point.
He's fucking getting the lump of coal.
Didn't get
all
one in
He's getting
2022,
the whole
23.
fucking trailer's worth of coal.
Yeah.
At his place.
Yep.
Fucking Gibbo will have him killed.
So I got onto the Sunset Cinema last night. And you know, Adam, I have a love-hate relationship with the Sunset Cinema. Like, it's a good experience.
It can be good and bad.
Well, the thing for me is it's a good experience, like an outdoor. It's a thing you can't do outdoors very often. But movies are best watched indoor for a reason. You know, the sound is shit.
Yeah.
The screen's kind of
The fucking flies are
fucking flies and mozzies are. I mean, I
bats-
fucking covered myself in fucking rid.
Yeah, but that shit's it's not comfortable to be sitting there in a sticky, buddy. I mean,
I tell you what, I covered myself in red. Clearly, I needed fucking tropical strength because I did get stung by a couple of mozzies while I was out there
but
watching
also
it.
there's fucking bats out there too.
Yeah, there's
They
bats,
fly-
there's birds shitting on
Holy
you.
shit.
Also, on the way on the trudge up there, which fucking on the way
It's
up,
like they
on the way
need
up, there's a
another-
workout because you're on an incline. And it's
They need
fucking,
another way of getting up there.
Yeah, yeah,
Golf
but-
carts or fucking something
Exactly.
or other. I don't know.
Well, they had a sign this time that said, "If you require assistance to get up the hill, call this number." Oh, I nearly called it myself. Listen, I'm 40 plus. I'm not in great shape.
Yeah, exactly.
But also on the trudge up there, we passed the sign, and knowing it's at the Botanic Gardens, you know they're around.
Yeah.
But we passed the sign
Snakes?
on the thing. Yeah, Snake was recently seen in this area.
Oh,
I'm like,
thank you.
yeah, thanks very much. And you know they're fucking Eastern Browns there. So
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
So I'm sitting there.
It's not a fucking. It's not some little piddly. It's a fucking murderer.
So I'm sitting there risking my life for Trolls 3.
Oh, Jared. Oh, I'm not getting bitten on the ass by one of them for that shit. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, look, the things you do for your children.
Oh.
Yeah, but
Was
also,
Trolls 3 crap?
look, it was average. As kids' movies go,
Oh,
there was
we're
a
gonna
few,
have
there was a
quick
few
discussion.
laughs because it's kind of based around Justin Timberlake's story. So the story of the movie is that he used to be in a boy band.
Oh,
So there's a couple of gags that, you know, they start referencing, they start talking about we're not in sync. And, you know, we need a new edition of this track and all this sort of shit, like
okay.
mentioning all these boy bands, which they do actually get a couple of laughs out of.
was that a C note?
Whereas,
Oh, brilliant. Oh, dear.
but, yeah, I mean, it's not
It's
a
isn't
great
it?
movie.
Because we're going to have a quick discussion when this is over because, fuck, you've only got to look at the box office to see there's some real shit in the air at the moment.
Absolutely.
And fucking, you're
So
about to bring up one of them,
Well,
I think.
yeah. Well, speaking of that, I did see Aquaman.
Mm.
Look, if you like the first Aquaman, there's enough to like in this one. Like, there's some shit that they. The first thing is you notice very clearly. Obviously, it's been a storyline, so it's not necessarily a mystery, but you notice very clearly that Amber Heard's role has been minimised.
Did they cut it or was it not filmed? Do you think?
I think they just cut it because they've got stuff in there. They've got scenes with his family and whatever, and then it's just kind of like she's got 10 lines in a movie, but seems to be kind of still important to what's going on.
Right.
So that's a bit weird. Look, Momoa as Aquaman is just something that is kind of. I'm not sure I loved it from the get-go. Like, he plays Aquaman as this big kind of goofy, fun-loving, loves to smash a Guinness kind of.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that was the way to go. I think they were trying to play with, Aquaman's a bit of a joke, but we're
Is
going to make
he-
him really cool.
Is he in the first one? Was he like that?
Not as much as this one. He was a bit, but not as much as this one. And it's essentially, look, they're trying to replicate the whole Thor Loki kind of thing, but instead of doing it over a bunch of movies, they just kind of squeezed it over two. That stuff's actually not bad. Him and Patrick Wilson together is reasonably good. I loved the way that Black Manta looked, and I think Abdel Mateen is really good as well. But there's just a lot going on, and it's another assault on the senses. There's fucking lights and sounds. And
I
shit
can't.
coming
I cannot
from
do
every
this
angle.
stuff.
So yeah, it wasn't great as expected. It kind of bombed. So yeah, I can only say that I'm looking forward to what James Gunn's going to do with the DC universe.
I'll tell you what, mate. He's not coming in hot.
Well,
I mean, DC would be at the absolute lowest point.
but that's probably a good thing for him.
I know. Can only go up. So at the end of the day,
the funny thing is, people are already ripping on it. Oh, this is going to suck and all this sort of. Well, I'm like, well,
let's at
is
least
it though?
see what they produce.
yeah, because
Let's not get shitting ourselves just yet.
Yeah, all the stuff he's done for Marvel has been pretty good in my book, and the Suicide Squad, I enjoy that. His version of the Suicide Squad was one of the better DC movies.
By far. By far.
And from what I've heard, that he's gonna, that I've spoken about this a bunch of times. There's so much good stuff out there that you can look at already, and this is kind of tied into my problem with Momoa. There's you look at the way that the kind of animated stuff handled Aquaman and went from the clean cut to the fucking. There was a version of Aquaman that looks like Momoa with the kind of the long hair and the dreads, but he's got fucking one arm cut off and this sort of shit. I reckon they should have gone that kind of route. But the stuff that James Gunn is referencing that he's going to be looking at for the Superman movie, I'm all in on. I think he's looking in the right direction. So
Because they need to do something about Superman.
yeah,
That's a property that can really work.
Yeah.
You can get it right.
Yeah.
You just got to get it right. And they have not got it right since fucking Richard Donner was making them.
yeah, that's
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's
no one's
probably
got it
fair.
right since then. So,
Yep.
a bit of work there,
So there's a bit of work to do, but I'm looking forward to it.
Anything else? Oh, yeah.
So circling back, this is
to
where,
Joe Bob.
this is where things get real ugly.
Oh, real ugly.
So the second movie on Joe Bob's Christmas special was The Ginger Dead Man. Full moon feature. Charlie Bands directed,
Yeah.
starring Gaza Busey
Gaza Busey.
for 2 minutes.
Oh, is he only in it?
He's only in it for a couple of minutes, and then he gets reincarnated as an evil gingerbread man. So his voice is in it. But the other thing is, like, you can see, I mean, Charlie Band has made some cheap movies and sometimes masks it pretty well. Often not.
But this is
But
one
something
that he
like,
didn't
you know,
mask
something
well.
like Trances.
Yeah.
Even something like The Last Subspecies. I mean, it doesn't just scream cheap.
Right.
You may laugh at me for that
No,
comment.
but I get what you're
the
saying.
Ginger Dead Man.
He's managed to sort of
screams.
locations and he's got one location, so it's not,
Well, you want to talk about one location? They filmed the Gary Busey scene,
Yeah.
which obviously Gary didn't come cheap. The rest of the movie is inside a bakery.
Oh.
They don't get anywhere other than outside the front of the bakery.
Oh my God.
So
How's
it's
Gary?
really fucking-
In fucking.
Gary's loose. And Joe Bob had the, I believe her name's Robin Sidney, the girl that was in the movie and has just this past week married Charles Band herself.
Oh.
So she was in the Christmas special.
Right.
And they kind of mentioned Gary Busey. And she was like, look, I worked with him for a day and I've got a million Gary Busey stories. That's about as far as she went. She kind of mentioned a little, briefly, some of his acting methods that were fucking
Weird.
But yeah, the funniest comment to come out of that, Joe Bob, who I believe also married them, presided over the ceremony.
God.
He kind of mentions to her, look, Charlie makes cheap movies. Did he marry you so he could get free acting from you for the rest of your life?
He probably did. He crunched the numbers for his next movie and went, fuck, I'm going to save a few grand here. Better marry Robin.
So yeah, look, that got ugly. Joe Bob always
But
makes
you
it
watched the
fun.
sequel, won't you?
Joe Bob always makes it fun. Well, Adam, I did watch the sequel.
Oh,
I watched
fuck, Jared.
Ginger Dead Man 2, The Passion of the Crust.
Crust.
The Passion of the Crust.
And how
Ginger
was
Dead
it?
Man 2. That one was actually all right because they took it to a film studio. I mean, it doesn't fit with anything they did in the previous movie, but they just decided, right, well, we've got a killer gingerbread man, so we'll take him to a film studio. There's people like John Carl Buechler in the movie as the director.
Right.
And I think Greg Nicotero pops up for a minute as a special effects guy. So they set it around.
Is Gary in that one too?
Gary's not in it. Gary's long gone by then.
Oh.
Gary was in 5 minutes of the first movie and then provided some of the voice of the first one. I'm almost positive there was times when it wasn't his voice.
So they just went with a...
So they just went with it. And it's essentially Charles Band is kind of making a bit of a gag about his own film studio. The guy's running a film studio that makes cheap movies and has a series of killer puppets and things like that. Takes a few shots at critics and whatnot, but at least it was kind of funny.
Okay.
And then I punched into the Ginger Dead Man 3.
Oh, fuck. Is there a
Saturday
third
night
one?
Saturday Night Cleaver.
Holy shit. The
With-
fact that you've even fucking mentioned there's a third one. Like, I thought the second one was getting there,
shit.
going too far.
Well, the Saturday Night Cleaver has the Ginger Dead Man going back in time to the 70s. Again, cheap. It's all set in a roller rink.
Well, that's not a bad idea, though.
Not as good. Not good. It's not good.
No, Gary didn't return, did he?
Gary didn't
engagement?
return. No, Gary's still not around.
Ah.
What happened is the one after this one is Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong.
Right,
So I felt I had to go back.
That's a totally different piece of... Because that's got a long history of other Evil Bong films that we probably need to...
I started on Evil Bong. You want to know how many Evil Bong movies there are, Adam? Not including Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong?
How many?
8.
Hey, fucking Evil Bong movies.
So I've started working my
There
way
can't be
through.
that much evil fucking grass out there.
Well, there is.
Holy shit. You know what? That's the kind of thing you finish those 8 movies and then you do what they do in Flying High and you fucking hang it next to them. You know what I mean? You're pouring gasoline on yourself.
I thought to myself, once I mention this, you are going to tell me I need to be taken out back and fucking
you
put
know
out of my
what?
misery.
You should have your fucking streaming services taken away from
Well, this
you.
was the free one. I'm not paying
That's
for it.
not the point. You cannot be trusted.
I can't.
You
the
cannot
worst-
be trusted with this stuff.
The worst thing about it is that, the 90s full moon features, there was like a charm to them. There was, as I said, there was times when he made it look like there was a bit more money in these
There's
things.
zero charm to this stuff, is there?
The charm's wearing off a touch. But I'm still in there. I'm still in.
You're hoping that there's one top-notch Evil Bong movie in
I'm
this.
sure out of 8. I mean, you've had 8 goes at it. There's got to be one good one, and I'm going to find it.
What a viewing fucking nightmare. Like, you must want it. It's like... You have been skull fucked. You actually have.
Well, I don't think any of this is progressing my life in any meaningful way. Put it that
I
way.
reckon your IQ was fucking 5 points higher. When you watch this. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I did have one more after that.
Shit, what was
It wasn't as bad as that. So I just mentioned to you, I'm reading a couple of basketball books. So I read Charles Oakley's book and Scottie Pippen, not to get too far off track, but I watched the Bad Boys doco.
Oh,
About the Detroit Pistons.
Detroit Pistons.
It's a good doco. Doesn't make me like him anymore. And the funny thing is, like, Isaiah Thomas, like, incredible basketball player, but you got tied up with Bill Laimbeer, who, if he was playing in these days, would have been suspended for half his career. And my thinking is, some people talk about the good old days. I don't mind physical play, but don't tell me you were the best at what you did when your method was I had to coat hanger people because otherwise they would have scored me.
That bloke's got he's got a legacy. As a very average basketballer who managed to win 2 titles because he was a fucking scumbag.
But this
who
is,
just ran around hitting
this
people.
is what makes me laugh. They talk about, we decided if you were going to call us the Bad Boys. And look, you guys wanted that. Bill Laimbeer, that was his whole career. So, you guys were going to call us the Bad Boys, so we accepted it and we took it on. But then later in the doco, Isaiah Thomas, as he always does, he's looking for his acclaim and looking for, we were one of the greats and all this sort of stuff. As a basketball team, yeah, but 30 years later, you're still reckoning with the fact that people didn't like the way you played. And that's I look at it and you're never going to be held up with the great champs because someone who could play basketball could be taken out of the game in your era by tackling them and fucking knocking their head off, which is what you had to do to beat some of these teams. And then, this is the thing about Isaiah. He's always looking to put himself in the conversation. Then he says something like, after they got done.
With Magic and stuff.
With Magic and with Jordan.
Fuck, mate.
After the Bulls finally beat him, there's a clip of a reporter going, do you think people will be glad the Pistons are kind of vanquished now? And Jordan was like, I don't think people want to watch that style of basketball. And Isaiah comes out with a comment, I've never seen someone talk about a champ that they've just beaten like that. And I'm thinking, well, 45 minutes ago, Isaiah, you're talking about how you thought you had the Celtics. You thought you'd finally beat them until Larry Bird took that steal and they won the series. And after that series, Dennis Rodman says Larry Bird would be just remembered as just another guy if he wasn't white. And then Isaiah backs him up, and I'm like, well, what's that? What sort of disrespect are you showing there?
Yeah.
Because, look, Larry Bird, I don't think anyone that knows basketball wouldn't watch him and go, the guy had a fucking sixth sense about the game. He was a fucking awesome player just because he wasn't athletic.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, you want it both ways. And then, you still want it both ways. You're still reckoning 30 years later with the path that you chose. Yeah, we're going to win it this way. We're going to win it by beating people up. But now you still want people to love you. And it's like, we just don't.
No one's going to love you. No, because also you
I can respect the basketball. Like, he was a phenomenal basketball player.
But they're sandwiched between
I
other great teams.
Yeah.
Like,
and
they're sandwiched between the
if you
Celtics,
ask me,
Lakers era and then the Bulls.
if you ask me if I want to watch a really good basketball game and I want to see great basketball, I'm going to pick a Celtics game or I'm going to pick a Lakers game because they fucking played good basketball. Yeah, those series has flared up at times, but not to the point where, our no layup rule means we're just going to tackle you when we go into the paint. Like these days, and I think it's for the better because the best basketball teams win, if you have to resort to fucking decking a bloke, well, you're going to be suspended for the next couple of games. And that shit never happened to Bill Laimbeer.
Yeah, that's right. He got away with that bullshit his whole career.
Yeah. You look at Draymond Green, another great basketball player who has his issues with doing this sort of stuff. His highlight package is probably less than Laimbeer's, but he's currently suspended indefinitely.
Yeah.
So that's where I land on it. Yes, I'll give you your due as a great basketball team.
Yeah.
But you're never going to be in that conversation for me because of that.
No, absolutely not.
But good doco.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll probably check that out.
Yeah, worthwhile.
All right, I did actually
Better
watch a
than your
couple of
Ginger
things.
Dead, man.
Oh, fuck. Or the Evil Bong series or whatever fucking inanimate object, murderous inanimate object that Charlie comes up with next. I finished Welcome to Wrexham, Season 2.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because that's the season where they go on to have some success,
Yes.
correct?
Yep. And it was a bit longer. There's probably a couple too many episodes, in my opinion. It's a little bit longer. But the episodes were fairly short. I think they were trying to sort of... Because I think they were kind of like showcasing the progression. And they did a couple of really good things. They showcased the women's team as well, which I thought was a really cool way of sort of, bringing that into the mix.
Is that a team that they'd always had, or have they now established it?
I think they established it in the... They might have always had it, but it sort of became more prominent in that second season because they were whipping everyone's ass.
Yeah, okay.
Ryan Reynolds' wife, one of her businesses is now one of their sponsors and all this kind of shit. Like, so there's all these connections now to them. But the end of it was just like the last episode, just the way they kind of pulled it all together to showcase the success. Including like the music from Rocky and everything like that. It was awesome. Like, it was fucking awesome. Like, I really, really liked it. And I think it's got real sort of feel-good kind of legs about it. And if it continues progressing upwards, it'll be a fucking fantastic story.
Yeah.
But I also understand that, these guys have probably got 5 years in it.
Well, they bought an F1 team now, which is a bit more expensive, so...
Fuck, did they?
It'll take a little bit of time, or they've bought into an F1 team.
Right.
So, maybe they'll be on your favourite show.
Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might be. But, I mean, there's bigger money in that, and there's bigger issues like with that. Like, that doesn't just turn around and fucking...
And probably means more time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you want,
unless they're just kind of silent partners who bought in financially.
I think that's probably what it's like, because I don't think they would just leave the whole kind of surrounding stuff that they've built with Wrexham and just kind of drop that. But it's got to take some time regardless away from other things. So.
Agreed. So you just got to be careful with that, because as long as they're doing the right things for the club and for the actual place.
Yeah. Yep.
Because that's the key to all of it, I think, at the end of the day. So, but it was really good. I got back onto the second season of Reacher on Amazon Prime.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's really, really well done. Because, the character's just kind of big fucking nomadic sort of guy who just wanders around fucking dishing out justice left and right.
I've got a question for you. and this popped up the other day on my Instagram feed. He's on the juice, isn't he?
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, holy shit,
Well,
he's fucking massive.
There was a question of like, you know, there was a clip of him saying, you know, I got a gym built in my house and I kicked my ass for 8 months or whatever. And the guy on the video was saying,
He also jigged his things in your ass.
The guy in the video was essentially saying, like other people have done that, but they don't get that
Yeah,
big.
no, he's fucking huge.
So you have to do the work, but you probably to get to that.
And it's not, what would he be doing if he was taking roids? It's not illegal. I mean, fuck, these guys can do
that's
that
right.
shit. I mean, it's like saying the Rock's not on the
But just
roids.
be honest about it. I just want someone to be honest and just come out and say,
Not on the gear.
look, my Marvel physique required me to be
Get on the
roids.
juice, yeah. And the difference between him in season 1 and season 2 is noticeable.
Yeah, okay.
He's much bigger.
Yep.
In the second season, and he's a big guy. Like, there's no doubt he's a big boy.
Yes.
But he's huge.
And again, you still have to work.
Oh, fuck
I've
you.
got no doubt he punished himself for that.
You can't not do any work. But Christ.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus. Fucking hell. Honestly, if I. I can bust my balls day in and day out.
I mean, let's be honest, Adam. I look at him and I think, should I get on a cycle?
I can't.
But then I remember, you've still got to lift weights.
Yeah, exactly. Should I just get on a cycle and jamming things in my ass? You know what? Going like this into your fucking backside does not. It's not a fucking bicep curl.
No, correct.
But look, Reacher season 2 is really good, and I actually started reading one of the novels. I just picked up one of the novels that we had in our street library, and it's later on in the series, but it's the same thing. Like, one thing I will say is Reacher's pretty meat and potatoes. There's not a lot of. They don't give you a lot about him.
Do you enjoy having the street library on close to the front of your house, so once you see someone drop something off, you can sneak out and decide whether it's worth taking or not?
Yeah. I mean, I know that someone dropped some religious books one time.
You walk out. No.
I quickly took them out. No, we're not going to deal in that shit.
No.
But the novel is good too. Very straightforward. And as I said, they don't do a lot of character development with him. Like, the character's just this guy who's, you know him. They give you this much information about him, that's it. But it's good shit. It works well in a TV context as well. I watched a slasher movie from the early 2000s called Shredder, set on a snow-capped mountain. Garbage.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Actually, no. You know what? The locations and stuff were really, really nice, and some of the footage was okay. And a couple of the kills were okay. But God, the acting was fucking horrendous. Now, I watched an interesting one on Netflix, Jared. I don't know why I decided to watch this. I was just sitting at home. I was on leave. It was called Margot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about, this group of like college students go stay in this smart house, which talks and,
Margot is the AI?
Yes, the AI.
Yeah.
And at first I'm thinking, this is kind of interesting. And then next thing you know, we're involved in fucking doppelgangers and shit. I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
Well, Tubi's always there for you.
Holy shit. I mean, it looked great. Like, it was really, there was clearly some money in it.
Yeah.
I mean, we start with good old Lachlan Munro getting his head head exploding because he's caught in a one of those massage chairs.
Oh, good.
Jesus Christ. But other than that, she lost me about half an hour in. I was fucking all over the place.
That actually sounds like some of the massages you've told me you've received.
Oh, yeah, no. I've found a good massage place now.
Yeah.
Hot Stones.
It's not going to explode your head.
Hot Stones, mate. Get on that.
Yeah.
I watched Barbie.
Yeah?
I finally saw Barbie. Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, it was good. Quite funny.
You know what? Initially, when I heard about it coming out, I thought this is going to be fucking garbage. What are you going to make out of this? But they went to some really interesting places, and I feel like they actually nailed it.
Yeah.
And fuck, I could not stop laughing at fucking Gosling and his buffoonery as Ken, constantly sort of hamming it up as an idiot. Like,
yeah.
And that stuff really worked. I think that they did a really good job.
Did.
Throwing a bit of emotion into it. And Margot Robbie is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a really good choice. And when I look back on who they'd initially been looking at, they had Amy Schumer, involved and all that, and there was a couple of other actresses. Kind of feel like Margot Robbie was perfect.
Yeah.
And I've also, just to mention, I'm playing Killer Frequency on PS5.
Yep.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I am hopeless. I've had to try and lead some people to safety and fucked it up repeatedly. I'm fucking hopeless.
I've held off, but it's certainly one I've circled around for.
It's easy. It's fairly short.
Now.
It's cool.
PS1 style graphics and
not super awesome graphics.
Well, I believe it was like purposely.
Yeah, because it's set in the 80s.
Pared back and
And it is, but it still works out nicely. Easy to maneuver around and stuff. You don't have to do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think it's really good.
Yeah, good. I'll get on that.
All right. I just want to make one quick observation before we get into the film, but I mean, you only got to look at the box office, Jared. We were talking about Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
But these fucking superhero movies seem to have hit the wall.
Yeah.
Is it fatigue? Is it?
Well, the DC ones...
Has the fatigue finally arrived? Because Marvel shit itself too.
Well, the DC ones were a combo of...
Bad
we know it's coming to an end. Like the last 4 came out when we'd already... It's the last 3 or 4. The James Gunn...
And we couldn't get a tax break on them. So
couldn't get a tax break. Well, fuck, Zaslav would have tried, wouldn't he? I actually, funnily enough, I would have preferred to see Batgirl than some of the last ones. That would have excited me a little more because it's a character we haven't seen before. I probably would have had... I'd have been more excited about Batgirl than I would have been about Aquaman 2. But that's a whole other issue. But yeah, it's... I think the last DC movies were a combination of that and that they weren't very good. I don't think any of the last ones were all that great. I think I probably enjoyed...
Well, Blue Beetle was probably the best one.
Well, I haven't seen Blue Beetle yet.
I haven't.
I'm waiting for that to...
Well, as far as reviewed critically, I think it's the best one they've had.
I can't remember why I didn't get to it in the cinemas, but I'm just waiting for it. I think it's currently $25 to rent.
Yeah.
I'm not going there.
No.
When it hits $5 to rent, I'll be on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was the best reviewed. I think those movies came out when we knew it was all done and dusted.
Yep.
So we were kind of looking forward to the next one. I'm probably not the right person to ask because I fucking saw all of them except for Blue Beetle.
No,
which I did want to see.
But you know if they're any good.
But yeah, they weren't that good. Marvel's the same. Like, talk about fucking issues. For starters, both the TV series that I've watched recently and the movies have all been average in comparison to the rest of them. Like some of the phase 1 and 2 stuff I enjoyed immensely. They haven't really got that at all in phase 4. No, we're on phase 5 now, aren't we?
Fucking hell.
But anyway, now you've got the whole Jonathan Majors problem. You've fucking banked the whole thing on him. And I've said previously, I think he was a fantastic actor and he did awesome things at the end of Loki season 1 in like 15 minutes of screen time. But since then, even his performances in there have been nothing to get excited about. Now you've got to replace the guy. So
I think Marvel might have rested on its laurels. Oh, well, we've got this sorted out. We know how phasing is working. It's DC's got no idea what they're doing.
Well,
but whilst DC doesn't know what the fuck they're doing either, Marvel seems to have slipped into a trap of making shit.
Well, here's the thing. Look, DC have fucked some things up, but they've also got a bit of freedom out of that. You've got the freedom to do something like the Joker that's not part of the main
But also, Jared,
story.
It can't get any worse. Do you know what I mean? Well, like they can now say, well, fuck, we can do anything we want.
But I think we spoke about this before. The freedom to do something that's not in the main continuity, I feel like that's a good thing. Like, the Joker I don't love, but it's not bad. It's not a bad movie, and it's something I'm interested in seeing more of, something that's completely out of this. We don't need to see Joaquin Phoenix in the DCEU. That was fine. We have him outside of that. The Batman, which was fucking, I loved that, and that was outside the main continuity. So DC's got a little bit of freedom with that sort of stuff now. You're going to have a
Marvel's
Batman
got zero freedom, hasn't it? Because it's all locked.
They're all tied into everything's got to be a part of this, and we're getting to a point where I heard people bring up about the Marvels that you kind of you're getting to a point where you're missing stuff if you haven't watched 2 TV series and 3 movies before that, which is probably true. But also, I think the whole thing about the formula of it worked initially. Like there was things where, yeah, we can see similarities between the movies, but you know, this villain's a little bit different and it works really well. But now I think the formula is just holding it back a little bit.
You know what, though? I think there might be fatigue across...
There's definitely fatigue for the audiences.
But I think there's fatigue across a number of, not just the superhero movies. You look at the money, superhero money's down.
Well,
Tried and
everything's down.
tested
Everything's
franchises, Fast X, less money.
Yep.
Mission Impossible, less money.
Yep.
There's a heap of them recently.
I think was
I
it
think
last
people
year's?
might be starting to...
Last year's box office was up on the previous year.
Yeah, but that was
I believe
COVID.
There was COVID, but they were talking about, look, last year's box office was up, but box office, it was more dominated by stuff we already knew.
Mm.
And so now it's kind of like, if you go into the movies, it's almost got to be something that you it's got to be a sequel or it's got to be a...
Yeah.
Otherwise, they almost don't get into the fucking cinema. And I think people are tiring of that a little bit.
Yeah.
Something fresh, unless it's freelance. They want something fresh in the cinema.
Fucking stink. Yeah, I just think there might be a little bit of a... Start finding me some new stuff.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people won't go to the cinemas.
Yeah.
They'll start to fall off the cinemas because they're just like... And even as something like Mission Impossible, which is a clearly excellent movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's not... Like, some of this stuff is crap. Like, Fast X is just crap.
Yeah.
But Mission Impossible
I heard Dead Reckoning
wasn't the better one.
okay, but it wasn't the best of Mission Impossible.
But, the Mission Impossible films have always set a pretty high bar.
Yeah.
But even that's not getting you there.
Yeah.
Not getting you down
But
there.
there's all these things about that. Like they mentioned, should they not have gone with a part 1, part 2 thing, because people will just say, well, I'll wait for part 2 and then I'll watch part 1 before it.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of that. I didn't go to the cinemas for Dead Reckoning.
No.
And there's also this whole thing about we're conditioned to know that we're going to get a bunch of stuff on streaming that we can kind of sit home and watch, and then we can wait for some of the things to come to streaming.
Yeah.
But that's got its issues too, because some of the streaming services are fucking losing money hand over fist. So what are we going to do? Well, the cinemas closed down and the streaming services fucking shut down. What are we doing?
I don't know. We're doing fucking back to doing sock puppets.
I just bought myself an inflatable projection screen.
Oh,
so I might be fucking stuck on that.
We're back on DVDs, mate.
I'll be finding all the DVDs that are wrapped in plastic
Back
and
on
finally watching them.
DVDs.
But yeah, I think there's a few factors, but I definitely think people are kind of seeing that the Marvel formula at the moment is tiring a little bit, that DC's in a hole until we kind of see what's coming new from them. Like,
it's not the greatest time for DC to retool, though, is it? Because
well, I mean, when the whole of the fucking the cinema industry seems to be in the toilet, that's not where you really want to be banking on something new to come out.
No.
And let's face it, if fucking old mate Zaslav's in charge,
oh fuck, they'll be lucky to get him out.
Watch the new movie and then he'll be canning James Gunn and claiming a tax break on it.
Because I need a tax break. I've got a tax break on it. A tax break.
Christ. Just let us watch it, David. We'll decide.
All right. Let's take a break. And here's the trailer for 1993's Firepower.
Los Angeles, the year 2006. Citywide crime has increased 300%, and a gang called the Hellsiders control most of the city.
Damn it, they're heading for the zone.
The Hell Zone, where laws don't exist and murder is the local currency.
Good day to kill a cop. Now that wasn't very neighborly, was it?
Lab says it might be AIDS vaccine.
Well, if the Hellsiders are running this stuff, let us go undercover.
Anyone can visit my club if they want to play.
A pair of tough cops on an undercover mission enter the Hell Zone, where a criminal mastermind has created a game, the Death Ring. Their job is to expose an illegal AIDS vaccine racket.
You use a stick like you've used one before.
Yeah, well, I practice a little.
But they discover that skill doesn't always determine the victor in the arena.
It's run by a computer.
It was Drexel.
Get you out of there.
We have a contact.
It's too dangerous.
Hey, that guy's a cop.
A message to give to your husband.
I'm going into the zone to get Drexel.
Too bad we can't do that in the real world.
LAPD.
Rock and roll division.
Firepower from 1993, directed by Richard Pepin, who directed Fist of Honor. It's produced by Richard Pepin and Joseph Murphy, who produced Funky Monkey, which I suggest would possibly make my Ape Shit
Yeah.
Volume 2
Yeah.
setup.
Well, I was going to say, I'm sure you've probably seen it.
No, I haven't, but I'd like to.
In amongst most valuable primates.
Yes, MVP. And there was Most Extreme Primate as well. Jesus Christ. They were good times.
And you're ragging on me for the Ginger Dead Man.
And it's written by Michael January, who wrote CIA 2, Target Alexa.
This was, what was the mob called? PM Production?
Yeah, that which was
Made
Pepin and Murphy.
Made
Sorry?
Skyscraper with Anna Nicole
Oh, fuck,
Smith.
did they?
Yeah.
I remember watching that. That sucked.
And, a couple of, action fair.
It stars Chad McQueen as Darren Braniff, Gary Daniels as Nick Sledge, Joseph Ruskin as Drexel, Alicia Duss as Lisa, and Jim Hellwig, better known as the Ultimate Warrior, as the Swordsman.
Excuse me, I think you'll find it's James Hellwig on this.
James Hellwig, sorry, he's going highbrow. Fuck, did I have Jim Hellwig? The budget, couldn't find anything. Wouldn't have been high,
No.
I wouldn't have thought.
No.
And it was direct to video, obviously, so no box office there. This is the first and only movie to feature the Ultimate Warrior.
Surprising. Shocking almost.
Well, when we get to it, I suggest it won't
No.
be hard to work out.
Warranted? Yeah.
All right. This is a cheap mixture of like RoboCop. It starts kind of like RoboCop.
Yep.
And then ends up like Bloodsport, Bloodsport with mixtures, little
dash of Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat thrown in. But it just doesn't have the budget to deliver on a couple of actually interesting ideas that are in there.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't have the money. So what it does is spends all its time in the fucking death cage.
The ring.
With also, one of the problems I've got is watching fights with some other fuckwit we don't need to know about.
Yeah.
Performances are shit all round. And I tell you what, the Ultimate Warrior is nothing to write home about. I mean, it is not a performance. It's basically the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
Without the face paint.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's cheap and formulaic. The effort's there, but it's let down by execution, I think. 1.5.
1.5.
Yeah.
Okay. I bumped to a 2.
No, shit.
Look, I found it entertaining enough in parts. Chad McQueen, I think, is a reasonable actor. Like,
Yeah,
he's
look, I
passable
won't
actor,
shit on
especially-
McQueen. I actually think he has the only decent... He delivers the only sort of decent performance.
Yeah, especially for this budget sort of stuff. I think he's a decent performer. And Gary Daniels has his skill set too. It's probably not maximised by the direction and whatnot, but I think you nailed it for Jim Hellwig, aka James Hellwig, in this highbrow effort. You watch these wrestlers in these movies sometimes for seeing something different. Basically, you just get the Ultimate Warrior in this. You get everything that he's done in a WWE ring, and they just put it in the death ring.
Match, yeah.
They add a sword. It's Ultimate Warrior plus sword. It's fucking...
And I mean, not to get off on the fucking hard foot on him, but he's not even proficient with that. Like,
no.
So what are we getting?
So, yeah, I think it starts off all right. And as you said, it's clear that there's RoboCop. It's
Total Recall.
derivative of RoboCop. I mean, all the cops look just like Alex Murphy's.
Yes.
The get-up that he's
the
wearing
helmet
when
and
he's
everything.
shot and stuff. So, yeah, you get that, and then you get Mortal Kombat. I mean, they were going for Mortal Kombat. They probably ended up more Pit Fighter sort of level.
Pit Fighter.
But the problem is when we get into the middle of the movie and we spend most of the time in the ring, the martial arts stuff isn't that impressive. And when you got Gary Daniels, get some fucking mileage out of that.
Yeah.
I feel like they did.
He's skilled.
Yeah.
He's very skilled.
He's very skilled. And you got other guys in there that have the ability, but some of the fights, it was just like, oh, fuck, can we kind of get past this? You sort of mentioned it, like you look at something like Bloodsport, and even some of the fighters that weren't really important, they kept it to a kind of small crew, but of people that you'd seen, and you were kind of like, oh, I can't wait to see JCVD have a crack at that guy.
Yeah.
This one just missed all of that. Had stupid names, average costumes.
Viper.
Viper. I've got a couple of comments about that.
Viper.
And the exterior the B plot about Chad
Their
McQueen's
investigation
family
and his family? I know,
is
fuck.
fucking rubbish. I wouldn't have even bothered with
the
it.
B and the C plot, I mean, they don't go anywhere.
No.
Like the A plot is we biff each other in the death.
Which is
fucking
funny because
tunnel.
they actually go to the lengths of, killing some people, killing off some characters, but because the fucking B plot's so bad, you just kind of like, oh, fuck, can we just get on to the next fight or whatever? So, yeah, overall, it was entertaining enough. I enjoyed it for what it was. When you got these sort of things off the shelf, I probably would have watched this one and said, oh, yeah, had a bit of fun with it, but it's pretty bad overall. Move on. So, yeah, 2 for me.
Okay. This one, we're not going to go likes and dislikes. Because
They blend into each other.
It's a bit of a fucking hodgepodge.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
some
just
stuff
basically
that-
from go to woe.
Yeah, some stuff that is terrible I was laughing at heartily.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. First off was, when James Hellwig popped up, I was like, what? I'd never heard him called James Hellwig before. If it wasn't Ultimate Warrior, it was Jim Hellwig until he, I believe he officially changed his name to Warrior. At
Warrior.
one point.
Doesn't he own a... Like, I read something about him running Warrior fucking University or something.
Yeah, there was a Warrior.
Holy
Something
shit. Like,
like that.
what do you get?
Was he tied up with Trump? Did he have Warrior States?
What? I would like to see someone who's got a degree at Warrior University.
Yeah, what did you specialise in? Face paint and tassels.
Fucking Jesus. Like you said to me, look, you talk to 10 people and I
graduated with honours from Warrior University.
They went to fucking Brown and,
MIT.
I went to Warrior.
Yeah, I went to WU. Where's that? It was online. Warrior University. Prestigious.
What did you learn? Because I want to see the material.
Yeah.
Because fuck.
I want to see the curriculum at Warrior University.
Because the guy was not a good promo cutter either. So what the fuck was he
could not-
teaching you?
So the funny thing is, like, when I was young and I got into wrestling, it was at the peak of Warrior kind of being pushed. I fucking loved the bloke. I was kind of, when we had the WrestleMania matchup of Warrior v Hogan,
I know.
I was on the Warrior.
Yeah,
As you grow up, you realise, fuck, the bloke was rambling.
yeah, but also he wasn't a very good wrestler, I don't think.
Yeah, they had to make his matches really short. A lot of them were squash matches where he just he fucking runs in, shakes the ropes like a loon, throws people down with 3 or 4 clotheslines, gorilla press, bang, done. 6 minutes or less. Oh, 3 minutes or less for a lot of it.
Yeah, I know. And he wouldn't fucking help other wrestlers. Like he wouldn't showcase other wrestlers and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So he was From everything
was the
I've read,
physique.
he was not.
It was where
Yeah, no,
it was
but
where
Rick
McMahon
Rude
was. Ricky Rude had physique
Ricky Rude had a
and
similar physique and a mustache.
And Karasama.
Bristled. Like you wouldn't believe.
Good worker.
But yeah.
No, but like it was at the time when McMahon was pushing his fucking bodybuilding federation as well. And
Fucking hell.
so you could see that he was tied up with, the guy was fucking
God help you
on-
if you sneeze during it.
Yeah, I mean, the Warrior didn't have a spare fucking ass cheek to inject something else into. Like, look at the guy.
Bullshit, he had fucking 4 half cheeks. 2 of them on his back.
Yeah. 2
as
more
well.
grew. So he could inject some extras in there.
Straight out of the gate for me. Fucking exposition dump city. We get a nightly news exposition dump.
Yeah,
That fucking
ENN.
explains the entire.
Exposition Nightly News is back again. Love it.
Fucking, it dumps out all this shit. And honestly, there's one idea in amongst that I thought was cool. The zone of public freedom.
Yeah,
That was like a hell zone. It was like the Purge.
yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, you know what? That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
But that is not used at all.
Well, that's where the fights are.
I know, but it's not
But it's-
used to a decent
yeah.
length, you know?
Well, let me tell you, when we get into it, I'll kind of hit you about 3/4 of the way through when I just sort of felt I hit a realization about the zone of public freedom that I'll talk to you about.
but the idea was kind of
the idea's
cool.
good.
And they kind of
Well,
give
it
a
hits
little...
on stuff like the fact that it's a bit like Escape from New York.
Yeah.
That we've got this section where people have decided, no, we're going to go here.
and we're going to
there's
govern
this-
ourselves.
Yeah. I dig that. I thought it was.
We'll wall them off.
But we'll wall the Warrior off and leave him there. But I think you would have more than a boom gate to fucking separate yourself from the fucking.
You don't need a boom gate. Like, you don't have a gate.
Exactly.
These fuckers have decided that's where they want to be.
Yeah. If you want to get in there, you fucking scale that 70-foot fence.
Wall them up, mate. You're
Yeah.
not getting anything.
No.
But
We'll
They
take a
also had
chopper
that-
over the top and we drop you out of the fucking thing. That's how you get in there.
and there was some interesting shit about the AIDS vaccine, the fake
Mhm.
AIDS vaccine, which once again is just jettisoned. It's
Well,
about
you're going into things that you don't have the budget to be dealing with, aren't
Well, fuck.
you? Yeah.
But I thought even though that exposition dump was ridiculous, like it was just a big lump of just shit.
Yeah.
Good
It
day
starts
out.
things off
It
with.
started out with, okay,
interesting
there's some
thing.
interesting ideas here.
What was the other one? They were going to space or something. Japanese American mission to space.
Yeah,
or something
thankfully
like
there was none of that.
that.
fucking
Oh,
clue.
yeah. Again, budget.
But those opening scenes, I mean, the fucking things is derivative as hell.
Yeah.
The opening sequence, car chase stuff, had,
Well, when we
had,
get
had
into the
small bits of
diner-
RoboCop.
The diner stuff looks cool. Like it looks, it kind of looks like that late 80s, early 90s XS, kind of drenched in neon, but pushed to another level because, of course, we're in 2007, so we fucking ramped the neon up like you wouldn't believe. My issue with it was fucking Daniels and McQueen. They open the movie. I mean, they're not talking about anything but fucking rooting people.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, come on,
And
fellas.
Daniels continues to use that fucking... His English accent just sounds so out of place.
Yeah. And he keeps, he drops a couple of seedy lines. They're going for the
Well, they're talking about AIDS, and then the fucking guy says something about...
no glove, no love.
Yeah,
or
no,
something
but
like
there's
that.
something.
Oh,
There's a
shit.
line before that which I was just like, yeah,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
There was one that I did laugh at, and that was when during the car chase, they're getting the directions from the woman in the precinct.
Yeah.
And McQueen makes a comment about, she loves you or whatever. And Daniel says, well, I don't dip my pen in the company ink. I was like,
Thank you, Gary. Thank you for being so lovely.
I think that's where we needed to leave it.
yeah.
Oh, God.
But that car chase and stuff is all right.
Car chase is fine.
It's a nice big explosion, although it's shot. I love the fact that they show it in its entirety 3 separate
Yeah.
times and 3 separate
Oh,
angles.
that was my note too. It was like, it's so it's a cheap film, so they get a good car stunt, so we show it for too long and in slow mo every every
Whereas
time.
I believe the editor's supposed to go cut.
Yeah.
You've got 3 angles. We go bang, bang,
They
bang.
sit there going, oh
You
no,
go-
fuck, it looks great. I've got nothing else. Let's just run it start to finish from every angle. Go, bang.
But that entire sequence has a bit of RoboCop, a bit of Total Recall, a bit of Mad Max all in it.
Yeah,
All at once.
Yep.
And it's like 3 better films.
Correct.
Far
But
better
that was
films, in
okay.
fact. But it
For
was
a
okay.
straight-to-video bit of work, that car
Well, as I said,
stunt was
the action
pretty
stuff
good.
was okay there.
Yep.
Even things like bringing in the smart bullet,
Mm.
which we've seen in a fucking million movies. I mean, that's in Judge Dredd and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it was okay to have that.
Fine.
One thing I did find funny was the opening, probably, 6 or 7 minutes, all that stuff in the diner and
Yep.
the car chase and everything. Every piece of dialogue, it's just, they're explaining something. Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus,
yeah.
lucky those smart bullets worked. They're like, what?
Well, they've got to explain it to us, otherwise we
Or
wouldn't be
the
able to-
woman walking through the police station going, I wanted to get rid of my car, but I got to have mandatory insurance.
Yeah. Petrol's like $300 a litre.
What the fuck are we on about?
Or gallon, sorry. Obviously, we're in America, so we're not dealing with litres. But
And I was just like, what the fuck are we on about? Can we just get
Yeah.
off this?
the thing that I also loved about that early on was that they were giving Gary Daniels they were trying to give him some of the action movie quips, like the lines about the girls and whatever. But there was one that I actually didn't mind. And I'm not going to say it's like a
not brilliant.
top notch. I would say it's more, you've probably hit a Tango and Cash level of clip there. But
So fucking- what? Or the one about Kurt Russell dressed as a woman? Is that fucking that one?
police brutality. When he goes, we're going to get done for police brutality again. And Daniels goes, brutality? Just a little male bonding.
Yeah,
And then
true.
for the next couple of minutes, every time the guy mentions something, he continues to fucking pummel him.
Yeah, and he says something like, I got out of hand.
Yeah. Oh, he's resisting again. Whack. Slams his head into that stuff was all right. That worked okay.
Yeah, some of that was all right. But, Gary can kick some heads, but fuck, his acting was
acting's not great.
horrendous.
Yeah.
He
I've seen him do
that-
better than this, but
Yeah.
this is not good.
There's a line where they go, you guys are fucking, you go, can't you get a haircut or something? He says something about how they're part of the LAPD rock and roll division. I'm like, Gary, stop it.
Stop. Just pick the good ones, say them. Tell the director I'm not saying that other ones.
If I'm his partner, I'm going, don't say everything you think.
Yeah,
Okay?
I had that
His surname was Sledge.
Sledge.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, talk about a B. It was like, it's almost a parody. It's something that you'd see in those, when we get fucking stuff like Far Cry, the Blood Dragon, where they're taking the piss out of these movies. That's a name you'd find in their Sledge. I actually loved, we've moved forward. We've progressed, 15 years to after the movie was made, but attitudes are still cut your hair. Cut your hair.
Yeah,
We
we
get-
go
you
back
get
to
the
our old
cops-
fucking...
He cops a couple of serves. 2 people get on him about fucking cutting his hair.
I mean, yeah.
Look, it's hair. I'm
From-
doing my job.
But from an OH&S perspective, Jared, he could be grabbed by the ponytail.
Correct, but I mean, Jesus. He
Hey,
doesn't-
look, you know what?
I-
McQueen, no one was telling McQueen to cut his fucking hair. And
He
had a
might be
mullet.
grabbed by the ponytail, but I don't want to be the person that's grabbing
Yeah,
Gary
no.
Daniels by the ponytail.
Fuck no.
Because wherever I wrench him, I know there's a foot that's going to follow, fucking fair into my
I
nostril.
want to hope I wrench his head off because I think the next thing's going to be me getting the shit kicked out of me.
Yeah. Can I also ask this? Why, when we establish a lawless society or a city in a dystopian future, do we always involve fucking mesh shirts? First bloke that
Why
gets
is that
arrested.
the uniform of the fucking, disenfranchised?
Mendes decides the first arrest. Mendes decides, I'm a mesh shirt guy because I live in a lawless area. Is it because it's cheaper? You're using less material
I
because there's lots
assume
of
so.
holes.
I assume so, Jared.
But this is the other thing. Just because you're in the lawless area, yes, I get that there's a bit more. It's a bit more cutthroat. But I'm assuming people can still wash.
Maybe they turned the water off there. I don't know. But none of them look like they've washed in forever.
Because I tell you, once I say, fuck this, I've had enough, I'm going to the lawless society, I'm going into the fucking freedom zone, and I discover that they don't have fucking running water.
I'm climbing the fence. Yeah, I'm getting back out.
Exactly, I'm out. I'm done.
No, when I'm going through intake and they're saying, "Oh, well, by the way, there's no fucking running water.
Yeah, and you've got to wear a mesh shirt.
Food's scarce, and by the way, yeah, you got to dress like fucking right said friend."
Yeah. Here's your right said friend, Siglet. I say it's fucking winter.
Yeah. So hang on, sorry, is this a summer kit?
Where's my jacket?
Do I get like a man fur?
There was a man fur in there. There was some guy that entered the club with a dog and a man fur. So he's living his best life in the freedom zone, but everyone else can't fucking watch.
I love that guy. I love the fact that guy's lawless.
Exactly. Someone's pitching your man fur and then they're fucking kicking your dog. And
Jesus Christ.
I also, you can't wash, but we seem to have a pretty fucking solid functioning post-mix machine in the club.
I know. We're still running a fucking pretty profitable club.
Exactly.
All right. When they actually get the warrior there, they arrest the swordsman.
Yeah.
I mean, they play to his strengths. He has a sort of a very dodgy looking fucking blue in the...
Yep.
And then, I mean, he sits there. He just grunts and giggles the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird. Like, and I think he only says one line in the entire movie.
Yeah. No, it's like, get me out of here, isn't it, when they're in the prison? Did you happen to see his rap sheet?
Yeah.
I fucking slowed it down to have a look at everything.
There was rape and all sorts of shit in there, wasn't it?
I'll give you, the funniest bit for me was we've got the swordsman who, look, again, isn't he fucking living in the lawless zone? So why is he getting arrested all the time? But anyway,
why are we after him anyway? He's in the fucking lawless zone.
Put him in the lawless
zone. Put the bloody boom gate down.
Exactly. Put it down. It's 9 p.m. The boom gate's shut. It's not going to open again until tomorrow morning. But they go through he's got everything. It's, as you mentioned, murder, assault, battery, robbery, carjacking, possession of narcotics, possession of deadly weapons, grand theft auto, assassination. But they got him a couple of times for loitering. And there's also one for petty theft.
He's on a loitering charge currently.
Loitering charges.
But also, why are we arresting him? Aren't we just arresting him, driving him back into the fucking lawless zone and booting him out the door?
That's the thing. When they're doing all this exposition, I'm assuming that he's in this zone on a fucking run to drop drugs off or whatever, because there's some people that are like, well, I like running water, but I'd also like to snort something on a Saturday night.
Yeah. Strangely enough, the non-lawless zone's got more coke.
I'd assume he's on a run. Or maybe he just decided, I'm going to cross the boom gate and I'm going to fucking loiter for fucking 15 minutes.
But the thing is, how did he get through there? Did he just sort of wander through the boom gate?
I don't know. See, this is the logistics of it all. It would seem that it's easier to control the flow of drugs back into the city when you control the fucking intake of people. But this is what they failed to fucking let us know.
Oh, fucking hell, honestly.
But the other thing too was his fucking rap sheet was so long. I thought to myself, when you've got assassination and murder on there, would you just? It's like a greatest hits package.
It's like having a resume where you're still putting your work at Pizza Hut.
Yeah, exactly.
15 years ago,
or McDonald's.
yeah. Or alternatively, McDonald's. Fuck, you had one job. You had one job to spell it McDonald's.
If you spell McDonald's incorrectly on your resume, you're probably not getting the gig. But I feel like, you've got that rap sheet. It's at his level, it's the greatest hits package. Yeah. It's fucking...
Yeah, we got rape, murder, assault, GBH. There you go.
We don't mention the loitering and the fucking petty theft.
Yeah, fuck. Don't worry about that bullshit. But the action sequences, like the shootout and break of the warrior from the police station, and... You know, there's a car chase, an armoured car chase where they use a helicopter, like real helicopter down low.
Yep.
That shit's fucking pretty impressive for a small budget film.
Yeah. Warrior looks like he's broken out by a gang of his wrestling buddies that haven't worked in
one
a
of them
while.
looks like a barbarian brother.
Yeah.
Who blows that guy's fucking head
They're
off.
sitting there going, look, we're sick of working the fucking independent circuit in the free zone. We need to get back in here in the WWE. So we'll bust you out if you get us a contract.
Yeah, exactly. But
But also, yeah, I thought that stuff was, again, as you said,
Pretty
for the
impressive for
low-budget
a
stuff,
slow
it's
budget.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, you've spent some money in the right areas there. Not sure if a bus is the strongest choice of getaway vehicle. I feel like I'd be saying, if I'm running the show, I'd be saying, look, let's pull everyone back. It seems to be heavily armoured, so let's just fucking follow the thing for 3.5 hours until it runs out of petrol because it's not going to outrun us.
yeah, that's
We're
right.
going to be able to tail it from
I'll tell
a
you what,
distance.
that's the one problem with that fucking sequence is the voiceover between the two cops.
Yeah,
just goes
they
fucking
tried to
on.
make it sound like futuristic, but it
It's
sounds
fucking
like
terrible.
bad technology.
And then you get Chad McQueen and his face does not change. I think we might have just been reusing the same footage.
There was a
him
couple of
sitting in
times
the
where
car.
I reckon they reused it a couple of times.
I think
But
they also reused it in one of the fights with the Warrior.
Yep. It's also fucking highlighted in this sequence that it's really tough to see. Like a lot of the movie is really dark, and to the point where some things are difficult to fucking see.
But was that just the transfer on YouTube?
I don't think it was. Like I think we've seen some fucking bad transfers, but this one, like, there was points where it's clear you can see shit here, but when you go to different points, it's just too dark.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like. Maybe they were
Agreed.
covering up this doesn't actually look like a prison, so let's fucking make it dark. I don't know.
The strip club, bar, fight club that they're in for the majority of the second half of the film. It's just club hell.
Yeah.
But it's sort of toasted cheese Sambo budget or something. Like it's fucking, you haven't got money to do the
You
kind
haven't
of
got
bullshit
bay
they were
money.
doing. You haven't got bay money. Yeah, you haven't got bay money to throw around. But it's basically that type of club.
They advertised well for the death ring, though. Had
Death
it on
ring.
the fucking marquee
Yeah.
out the front. Yeah.
Fucking hell, it's a lawless
Which is the sort of
land,
shit you can do in the lawless zone, you
Look
know.
at those.
Death ring here tonight.
Here tonight.
Make sure you wear your fur coat and bring your dog.
Why? This is the other thing. Why are there death matches and non-death matches? Non-lethal and lethal.
Well, there's a hierarchy here, Adam. You know, when you first get in there, we don't kill you. Like, I
thought it would have been every man for himself, you know?
Yeah. Well, I thought it was like a bracket. Are we fighting in a bracket here, or is it just
Yeah, I thought it was like, you need to work through
Yeah.
and you have to kill them.
I had a good laugh too with immediately upon entering. There's some bloke fucking going off on the synthesizer, but in the foreground, you just see someone's head getting pummeled. Oof, oof. It was quality
This is
intro.
where we go from RoboCop to fucking Bloodsport.
Yeah. Funnily enough, when he's the shit that's playing on the synthesizer, like you get in here and immediately you see, there's a couple of touches of Mortal Kombat. There's a fucking security guard that's basically Kano with the fucking.
Oh, so the
silver
guy with the
plate on
eye
his
patch?
head. Yeah. A Mortal Kombat was released the year before this came out, so you're thinking to yourself, yeah, well they're probably going
I've had
for
to
that.
look at it and thought, yeah.
The fight screens kind of look like the early the Mortal Kombat 1 kind of intros to the fights and stuff like that. But then the music that he's playing actually sounds like the fucking Mortal Kombat movie, which didn't come out for about 3 years after this. So
They're ahead
it was
of their
kind
time.
of funny. They were maybe Mortal Kombat saying, well, fuck it. You pitched our whole idea.
So we'll
just pitch a bit of
pitch back.
music.
But
You should have pinched the part with the guy's fucking head getting fucking wailed on in the foreground of the fight. That was the best part of it.
you know what, though? They're going undercover.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
yeah,
going
yeah.
undercover. We're going undercover.
Yeah.
You were in there the night before.
In your kits. Full kits. And
I-
one of you has a pretty distinct English accent.
Yeah. And
The
a
only bloke
fucking
in the
pony,
movie.
a side pony hanging out in your fucking helmet.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ, I think we've worked this out.
Yeah.
Maybe in a lawless land you don't pay much attention, Jared.
No, that's right. I also noted the fucking. This is where straight away we get the shitty names for all the competitors.
Viper.
Dr. Death, Viper. My favourite was Tumor.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, we didn't see Tumor actually fight on screen, but when we saw the odds, I was like, Tuba. I want Tuba. I want to see him get
I
in
want
the
to see
ring.
him get his ass kicked too.
Yeah.
The fight choreography. This is where we go wrong. We actually get some action sequences going well with cars and guns and stuff, but we've got Gary Daniels, and the guy playing Viper's obviously pretty useful.
Yeah, I think he had a reasonable career in like stunt coordination and whatnot.
But the fights, the choreographies, it's all shot from long range.
Yeah. We've got a lot of shots of people kind of just sort of ready to fight a couple of meters away from each other and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like,
And there's one in particular, and just going back a little bit, when Gary Daniels corners that bloke in the mesh top early on, he punches him a couple of times and gives him a roundhouse, and it fucking misses him by about a foot. Like you can see it, it just never got any better. Like the choreography is just terrible.
yeah. And this is where you draw like unfavourable comparisons to something like Bloodsport, which again probably didn't have a ton of money. It had more money than this. But this is where you can make up on some of that, can't you? You can put some reasonable fights on screen, and
the hand-to-hand is the easiest bit, isn't it?
well, you'd hope so.
Because your actors have already been paid.
Especially when you got proficient performers. I mean, even Chad McQueen had some martial arts background.
No, he doesn't look great,
No,
Chad.
but
I mean, his second fight is fucking abysmal.
But it's probably better than having to teach someone how to do it.
Correct.
Like you've got someone that can get on screen and probably throw a punch that looks all right.
But you know what, though? They should have had McQueen being more of a boxer type.
Yeah,
You know,
that's,
sharp,
again,
fast mover.
and you're
counter-punching, things like
dropping weapons in for people. It's like, well, here's where we fucking play with a bit of that. We got someone that's got this style, and then we drop a weapon in.
And they don't bother to do
we've got the
anything with
fucking,
that.
we got the old brawler like in Bloodsport, but we drop him a pair of nunchucks, and he doesn't know what the fuck to do with them. Like,
They don't do anything.
They don't do anything with that, really.
McQueen gives us a bit of acting when he first speaks to his wife about the gig
Yeah.
he's going to do.
Yep.
There's a bit of emotion in there. I don't like the fact that he grabs his wife by the arm in an aggressive fashion.
An aggressive manner.
Was
Yes.
not necessary.
No.
But there's emotion in that sequence. And
A
he
little
actually gives a bit of acting.
Yeah. It's, look.
You loved it.
From this point on, this plot is fucking useless to the movie.
Is it what? Although I love the his fucking wife hates him.
She hates
She just tees off him.
Yeah. And I mean,
She sees him twice in the whole movie and she fucking gives him a gob for
He's
both times.
actively fucking pursuing another angle before she's even killed.
But then he has the fucking ball to say, "I just want to be your friend." To that other bird. It's like, oh, fucking come on.
But, 2 days later, my wife's killed and I'm going to be smooching you before the credits roll. Like, it's... Yeah, it was,
unbelievable.
But, yeah, that plot was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. And then they try to bring it back later.
And where the fuck do they live? What is that couch they're playing video games on? It looks like a fucking slide. Do you go from the top floor to the bottom floor on that thing?
But yeah, it's 2007, Jared.
Yeah. We have couches that you can't fucking sit on.
I was creating a line of couches.
Yeah, IKEA got on to HR Geiger and said, can you knock us up a couch?
Something that might make our fucking, give us nightmares for the rest of our lives. Got to sit on.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, there's a bit of acting. I'm not going to say chops. Do I say chops? Well, at the very least, I feel like
it's a poorly cooked chop. But
oh fuck, it's barely cooked. But what I mean is, I think if you gave McQueen a role where you wanted him to act, you might actually get something.
Yeah.
I mean, throw that at Gary Daniels and you'll get anyway.
Gary's got to be in fight scenes and stuff like that. Love the man, but you don't give him a role in Shakespeare or something like that.
No, and it's absolutely showcased when that woman that, he works with, he doesn't want to dip the pen in the company ink. When she dies, Gary looks bereft by crinkling his forehead and going, fuck.
You should have made him just get him to punch something out of anger. We've seen a bit of the swordsman in the ring by now.
Oh, God.
And it's just the Ultimate Warrior.
But he's this is what I noticed about him. And, again, I was a wrestling, somewhat of a wrestling fan back then. but I didn't sort of really key into it.
No.
And
You
I
were in the fucking cartoon era, weren't you? The WWF, when they had the cartoon with Hulk and the Junkyard Dog. And
I did have some of that shit. But what I mean is, I didn't realise how bad a wrestler he was.
Yeah.
Because I think people forget, and certainly back in that period, there was a lot of talk about how, it's fake. Whereas it wasn't actually fake physically.
No,
it was just storylines were made up.
Yeah.
But the physicality of the shit, you got to hit each other and it's got to hurt. It hurts. Like, fucking hell, I get belted.
There's got to be things that happen. But yeah, But
the Warrior seemed to be somebody, it turned out, who was very lackluster in the ring.
Yeah, exactly.
And in this, it's exactly the same. He wanders around the ring.
Yeah. When he gets hit for the one time, he fucking grabs his head for a second, turns the other way, and then he's flailing his arms and shit. And it looks just like a wrestling match. Looks like he did in the wrestling match.
And he screams and...
I mean, give us a fucking Ric Flair flop. Get hit, take a couple of steps, and then fall over.
But you know what I mean? Like, he screams and yells, but he doesn't do anything else. Like, there's nothing else happening. The fucking fight with him, when we first see him in action, is just terrible.
It's a squash match again. But he just gets a bit of an eye rake. And then, shit. And then
he squashes someone.
Back on deck. Yeah, not good. What about the Rocker? There's one bloke that comes out called the Rocker, and it's the one time they try to really push the Mortal Kombat kind of angle. He comes out with like a hood and a fucking dollar store mask.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God. And you called him the Rocker. What the fuck are we doing here?
And I believe he kills that bloke, doesn't he?
Yes.
He kills the Viper.
Yeah. Was that him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
When I'll get to it in a minute about their investigation, their so-called investigation that they're doing.
Yeah.
Which seems to involve nothing more than talking to Viper a couple of times and then talking to the woman
Talking to the girl.
Happens to...
He didn't sneak into anyone's office.
Yeah, he didn't find a fucking chemistry lab full of,
didn't
fake...
beat the snot out of anyone for information.
Exactly. Fucking ridiculous. Like, and again, it's like a C-plot.
Yeah,
but
correct.
why do we need it? We don't.
I also like when they go to fucking brief the boss and he tells him, you both look like a fried piece of shit.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I thought he might have been commenting on their performances at the time.
Well, Gary Daniels nodded with, I understand. Well, yes, I've heard that before. Oh, you know what? I've been told that a few times.
Give me a couple of months and I'll look like a fresh piece of shit.
I love the fact that Daniels enters the ring as the Hammer and then drops into what looks like a breakdancing.
Yeah.
He fucking does the old... does the splits and then flies out of it.
Taking a little bit of Van Damme work. And he also, when he does the splits, he looks up at his fucking opponent and gives him the air. What do you reckon? I know.
Yeah, okay, you can do the splits. Fucking great. Good. So you do calisthenics, do you?
Yeah, my yoga's on point, mate. Look out. So let's get into the issues with this freedom zone.
Okay.
If you're happy to talk about that, this is where my notes kind of expanded on that.
Okay.
So are you
unhappy with the freedom zone?
At this point, we were kind of 2/3 through the movie, and I thought to myself, the whole premise is them heading into this zone of personal freedom for an undercover operation. Okay.
Yeah.
But isn't the whole idea that zone is fucking lawless? So if you come up with anything in this operation, what are you going to do?
It's like you can't use it.
You're going to sit there and go, we've got you, pal. Wait till you fucking come through that boom gate. We're going to bring the hammer down on you. I was just like, at that point I was looking at it going, so you can't arrest anyone outside that zone. That's what I'm led to believe. Like inside that zone, sorry.
No.
So really the job is to gain intel.
About what? This is a thing.
The drug.
Yeah, I know, but fuck.
But as you said, that's so far in the background. So I think the whole thing would have worked better if they are told, yeah, you can go in and do this. And also, it's lawless. You do what you need to do to get the information. So you kill a few people. You fucking... Hey, you're going into the lawless zone. We saw nothing.
Yeah.
The fucking boss should be telling him this, but the flip side is
the boom gate was up.
You got the flip side is between the hours of 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. we can't get anyone in there because the boom gate's shut and the resources are low, so we don't have any overnight staff.
If I happen to lead on this and the boom gate goes up and you guys went through it, I didn't fucking see anything, right?
But the whole idea is, isn't it like we're not going in there to arrest anyone. We're not going in there for a fucking takedown operation. It's not an undercover operation. It is kind of, we don't want you to be seen as police because it'll be...
But what is it? It's basically...
Well, the idea is they should have done something early to fucking instigate, well, we need to go in and we need to take this guy down.
But it's going to spread out of the lawless zone into the unlawless zone.
But we can't help you. We've got a fucking job to do out here. If you guys choose to go in there, it's kind of an undercover operation, but while you're in there, there's no backup. Isn't that what it is? Because your fucking operation is, you're going to come out and say, here's my report. Oh, well, we fucking can't do anything about that because it's all happening in there.
I towed some ass in the death match fucking arena.
Yeah, I lost my partner. He's dead. My wife's dead. But here's the intel I got. Oh, good. We can't act on it because the factory's inside the zone and the guy that runs the factory, he's also inside the zone.
Well, he's dead too.
Which is lawless. There's no law. We can't fucking roll in there and arrest the guy.
Exactly. These guys were not doing anything wrong. Basically. I think
aren't they doing exactly what you wanted them to do? Take your shit in there and keep it away from us. So the whole fucking, I mean, the fucking plot, the plot is a house of cards that's just fucking blown over.
No, but the whole thing about the fake AIDS vaccine, was getting out into the unlawless.
The warrior was running that.
These cops.
He was fucking loitering on the corner waiting for someone to come and collect their fake vaccine.
I can stand there in his long leather jacket.
Well, it's not a jacket. He's only got a vest. So he's only got a small amount, but he goes psst, and opens his vest. I've got 4 vials in here.
And then he fucking giggles like an idiot. And that's about it. Like, fucking hell. Oh, God. No, I mean, like, I think that was what they were trying to get, but it was so muddled and so clunky that you didn't come across very well.
Yeah. But again, even if they are doing that, you have to take them in the zone where they can be arrested. Once they get back into the other zone, you're the law. There is no law in there.
Yeah.
So that's my whole issue.
And then, you know what? Best thing to do here? Let's think about this Boomgate situation. Let's just little wall the gun up.
We need something better than this. This bloke's come in, he's committed murder, he's assassinated people.
How do we stop these guys from bringing that drug in?
And he fucking shoplifted on his way out, but we pinned him for that one. He got a petty theft charge there.
You won't believe it. We got him for petty theft.
Yeah. I found him with a fucking...
Getting Al Capone for tax evasion, for fuck's sake. Come on.
Yeah. On his way back to the zone, he got hungry and fucking shoplifted, and I pinned him with a bag of Swiss crisps and a bottle of Coke. Silly bastard.
He deposited something down the drain. I think it was vials of a AIDS vaccine. But yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But I feel like you clarify that or you make a tweak to say we're sending you in if you want to do it. Well, you volunteered. You volunteered to go in, but we need a stronger motivation for you to go in. And there's not going to be any arrests, mate.
Yeah.
So if you go in there and you fucking kill that bloke, I didn't hear this meeting never took place.
Exactly. There are no reports to be written.
Yeah.
There are no.
Makes my job easier. Fucking get in there.
Yeah, I'm fucking walking the guy in there. Get in there. Fucking hell. The stuff with Viper, they kind of make out like he's an ally and they're buddies. Like there's plenty of backslapping as they watch each other belt people into the middle of next week. They're constantly slapping each other on the back. You go, Viper loves us. Viper gets killed with a hatchet to the back.
Mm.
And then they're kind of making out like, it's an emotional thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you fucking barely even knew him. Like, what are we doing here?
We spotted him. That's it.
We spoke to him a couple of times. Yeah. I mean, at one point, we were almost on the same card. I was going to have to kick his head in.
Yeah. They should have probably delved into that a bit more when they're on the piss. Like they're having a few drinks after the fight because he starts talking about why he's doing it. You punch that up a bit.
Yeah, punch it up.
We get that.
Michael January. Bring in Michael February.
Yeah.
Bring in
I think we
February
need
and
all the
Monday.
way through. I think we need everyone through to Michael December to really push it up.
At the minimum, it should be June. Like,
Exactly.
Fucking Michael June should be there.
Michael June will get the job done.
But because McQueen says something, it's personal now.
Yeah.
It's personal because some guy that you had a couple of fucking fights with, you stood in a smelly locker room.
yeah. I borrowed his Denker up pre-fight.
Yeah, exactly. I patted him on the bum a couple of times between fights. What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah. Again, to me, this lends some fucking cred to they should have made a stronger motivation for them to get in there in the first place.
Yeah.
And fucking take care of things outside of what they would normally do.
And again, coming back to this, and we had the Viper thing, then we had the death of McQueen's wife, which is just a wait. Like, there is no need for any of that.
No.
Because it's 20 minutes towards the end of the film. It has no bearing on anything. McQueen basically, he barely even registers her death.
No.
He's too busy chatting up the other.
Oh, no, he's already.
He's undercover, chatting up another woman, and having his wife call him a fucking scumbag. That's the only reason she exists in the film.
Yeah.
Other than to be killed, which seems ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And look, this is where things get to. Gary Daniels would have fucking put foot to ass to Warrior. Like, he would have whipped his ass.
Yes.
None of that is acceptable.
No. I can buy that because it's like, okay, you're putting out there that this guy's fucking superhuman strength, whatever. But, yeah, at least I felt the fight could have been a little more of Daniels really fucking giving it to him.
But see, they don't show him as super strong. Other than the bit in the police station where he gets free of his cuffs.
Yeah.
They needed to showcase
And then
that
show
the
a
guy
bit
could
more of that
take
in the fight.
punishment and just shake it off.
Which is the problem when you're doing a squash match. He doesn't take any.
I know. He wasn't willing.
So yeah, I think you're right. It didn't really build him up in the right fashion. The one thing I think was a strong move was killing Gary Daniels' character.
Yeah, I like that.
Because I didn't really.
And the way
expect
they did it was pretty nasty.
Yeah, I thought, okay, well, we've got two guys that are these leads in these B movie kind of straight to video things. I thought they were both going to make it
Did you
through.
say you didn't see it coming?
I didn't see it coming.
Holy shit.
Well, I didn't see,
Richard Peppeney, he threw a few
He
fucking
threw, yeah, his
smoke
fucking
bombs in the
sleight of
air.
hand. No, but I didn't think we were going to kill.
He put
I mean,
down
what
four.
other-
He put down 4 cards. With
What
like
other
this.
Gazza Daniels movie has he had his head cut off?
I don't watch his. I don't watch his movies, Jared, so I don't fucking know.
Touche.
That was a
You
stupid
need
question.
to watch some more Gary Daniels. But
Well, once you've worked your way through the Eagle Bolt series, I'm sure you can get to
find a couple of Gary's movies to continue on my odyssey, my trek through. But I think that's going to take a while because there's 8 of them. 9 if you count the crossover. But oh shit! But, yeah, I think it's,
agreed though. Killing Daniels, who was the more proficient martial artist too, was probably a wise-ish move.
Yeah.
And it actually did bring a personal touch to it.
Finally.
That they had fucking fumbled.
10 minutes before we finished the movie.
Yeah, that they had fumbled away repeatedly
Yeah.
by saying that Viper was important to us, and then my wife who rags on me in 2 scenes, and then
Yeah.
and when she dies, basically McQueen just goes like this. He goes,
Oh fuck! Yeah, he scratches his
fucking what?
scratches his forehead, and 2
Your
scenes
wife's
later
just
he's
been killed.
yeah.
At least show some. Fuck, I mean, honestly, these cops are onto you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Richard Pepin fooled me there. Michael January really, he got me. He dazzled me with a little bit of unexpected work.
That is like, 3-card Monty.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
done that to you.
Yeah, and then really
The final
from that
blue.
point on,
Ugh.
the whole factory is just it's a waste. by that point, as you said, that plot's kind of just fallen by the wayside.
But the final blue is just fucking nothing. Like, once again, it's shot from a distance, so we can't see anything up close.
Yeah.
And all it is the Warrior pushing McQueen around until he takes the sword and swings it into an electricity box, and that's it.
Yep. Yeah,
his head should have fucking exploded. Like, at the minimum, something.
In a massage
Like, he should have
chair.
blown his mullet off.
Yeah, exactly. Mullet, nothing left but a fucking flowing
A
locks.
flaming mullet with the top of his skull attached to it. You know?
Yeah, everything else is just gone. Yeah, I agree. The fight was just it was kind of nothing, and it was the whole problem of the movie, right? You didn't make the best out of Gary Daniels, and then when you got left with Chad McQueen versus the Warrior, it's just the Warrior doing what he's done. As I said, he just didn't show anything that we hadn't already seen anywhere else.
McQueen's a better actor. I actually feel you could have twisted and Daniels survives.
So you cut McQueen's head off.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Adam, you've put all these.
But you've
plots
also
together
killed his wife.
Yeah,
So fuck, we've
correct.
got nothing. No.
So what's Daniels doing?
No, but Daniels, it's personal. His partner.
Nah,
It's the exact same thing.
I think you've spent too much time, and it wasn't done well, but you've spent too much time working McQueen into that role.
I know, but Daniels is a better fighter.
Daniels
which
is
would
a
have
better
made
fighter,
that
so
fight, final fight a
Maybe
little
we
bit
should
more
have
pop.
just flipped the roles around, or just had Gary Daniels with some other.
Gary can't
no-name
act to
actor.
save his fucking life. McQueen at least semi-delivers
Well, you
something.
just fucking squashed your own argument.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We couldn't use Daniels in the end,
Yeah.
but I would have loved to have seen him.
This is why they should have both survived.
And then it could have put both of them against the Warrior,
Yeah.
and the Warrior's kicking their ass. You know,
Yep.
like Lethal Weapon 4.
Correct. This is where
So
you
they've
should
got
have
to
gone.
team up.
That's where you should have gone. Fucking Michael January, give us a call.
Yeah, give us a call, January. No, just not in January.
he'll tell us to fuck off. I heard your podcast. You guys can get fucked.
Exactly. Did you have anything else?
No, that was
Other than the Warrior, who I'm going to brag on him again.
Okay.
I can see why he did not make any more films.
no.
And where does he stand
can't
in amongst
see-
other films?
You can't see a comedic.
Could I see him in Mr. 92? No, I could not.
Could you see him driving a taxi in Stuba with the comedic
No,
timing of Batista?
not with the comedic timing of one fucking Dave Batista.
No.
He
Chugging a beer through his ass like Cena.
Johnny Cena. This is why those guys have gone on to bigger and better
Yeah.
things.
They're willing to
To
fucking
fucking
have a
chug
bit of a
beers
laugh.
through their bums.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing you need to do. That's
Not
how you
as-
stretch.
They're not establishing online universities or
Well, I mean,
or
obviously-
financial institutions.
Obviously, James wanted to sort of help the youth of America with their education and decided to give up acting. And wrestling. Although I believe he was sacked 3 times in
Yeah.
his wrestling career.
Yeah.
So
His last run in WCW was a travesty. It was a
Was
shocker.
it?
It was an absolute shocker.
he didn't do what Hulk Hogan didn't dye his fucking hair and shit and look like
No,
a
but
heel.
him and Hogan had another. They had a match in like 99, I think, and it's just remembered as one of the worst fucking wrestling matches ever.
Was it just 2 old fucking
Just two old blokes.
geriatrics?
I think there was one point where Warrior was supposed to, or one of them was supposed to use like fucking that paper that lights up and fucking burns out really quick to do like a fucking gimmick in the ring, and they fucked it up. It was just a shambles all around.
I see. Well, look, I'm going to say he's at the bottom of the pile of wrestling actors.
There's a few. There's plenty to go through. I wouldn't say he's at the bottom.
Who's at the bottom?
Well, I've seen
The Miz?
The Miz. I've seen.
No, the Miz has made the fucking...
Well, fucking Rob Van Dam popped up in that one that Steven Seagal was in, where every time it cut to a shot of someone walking,
Yeah,
it wasn't Steven
Yeah,
Seagal.
it was a thin, fully... a man with a full head of hair,
It was
thin,
a bloke
muscular.
covering his face to walk out of the scene and stuff like that. So, I mean,
That's got to be a lower end.
there's some pretty low tier stuff. There's a few wrestlers that have cropped in, but I mean, shit. you've got The Rock, you've got Cena, you've got Batista all above him. You got Roddy Piper, who only did a handful, but
they
just on the strength of They Live, he's fucking miles above him.
Well, put it this way. Piper gives a performance in They Live.
Yeah.
Right?
Even someone like Terry Funk as a fucking background player in Roadhouse.
Well, even fucking, Kevin Nash, Big Sexy.
Big
He's had a reasonable career.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Warrior is very, very far down the list.
But the Warrior's not playing a character. He's just fucking playing the Warrior. That's all that's happening.
Correct.
So really, he's just taken his wrestling persona and put it over here.
What about Hogan?
Was this executive produced by Vince McMahon?
No, shit. He would have been anywhere near this. This might have been one of the times after he was sacked. I think this was possibly, maybe he was filming it, but I think this might have been the first time he was sacked.
He pushed for more money.
Yeah.
In 91 or something.
On the night of SummerSlam. Like I said, I'm not going out unless I get paid.
Do the job and then fucking request more money.
So I think McMahon fucking, he said, yeah, I'll pay you, and then fucking paid him the money and fired him immediately.
Well, this is the thing. He's probably one of the only blokes who got one over McMahon.
Well,
because he also took the name of the Warrior.
Yeah, but I mean, fuck. Vinnie Mac just sold his company for billions.
I know, but what I'm saying is no one else has been able to do that. To be able to take the name of their wrestling character and then use it.
Yeah, but what does it mean if that bloke's
it
not
means
doing
nothing in the big scheme of things. But imagine if The Rock had taken that.
Yeah, but I mean, as I said, for some of these people, it means nothing without the person that was playing it.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, the fucking WCW ran out a bloke called the Renegade, which was basically the Ultimate Warrior with a different bloke doing it.
Was it?
It did
yeah,
not
what they
go
could have
down
painted
well.
some bloke's face.
Yeah, it didn't go down well.
No?
So, I mean, he can have the Warrior.
Well, I mean, I guess it comes with a certain amount of cachet when it's university related.
Exactly. I mean, when you can stamp that on your diploma, it works out really well.
I will bet my left testicle that the logo for Warrior University is that fucking bullshit that was painted on his face. I can bet.
Yeah, exactly. I got a bachelor of fucking clotheslining people.
I majored in gorilla press. Shit. I want to see this. I'm looking it up on Google to see if anyone put their transcript.
Yeah. I want to see your fucking transcript.
I want to see actual evidence of a fucking degree.
Did you get a HD at Warrior University?
All right, that was Firepower. You can find us on Podomatic, iTunes, Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts. Send us an email at thrillme@iinet.net.au. Like us on Facebook, Thrill Me Podcast Australia, Podomatic at thrillme.podomatic.com, and Instagram at thrillmepodcastau. Make sure to rate and review us wherever you find us. Keep an eye on the Facebook page to see what the details are of the next movie we cover. But until then, take it easy, everyone, and we'll catch you later. Cheers.
Find the podcast at Podomatic or on iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia or contact us at thrillme, all one word, all lowercase, at iinet.net.au.